Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Good movie. Now I'm gonna tear it to fucking pieces.
Tell me, Dippy, do you play shitty games? You will.
And now, the conclusion.
I mean, I had some gripes. So, first off, like, I think my biggest problem is the epilogue kinda sucked. The thing that I think this cost like $30 million to bring to fruition, and I think that's where a lot of it went. Like, I think Darkseid being added in was where it was, which I forgot to say, that was cool that Darkseid was in more. I'm glad we got to see him. I've been saying though that he and Thanos kind of look and seem more like each other. Darkseid looks more like comic book Thanos in his movie, and Thanos looks and seems more regal like Darkseid in the MCU, whereas the movie Darkseid is more like comic Thanos, and movie Thanos is more like comic Darkseid. It's a really weird swap. I think they each did that to differentiate from the other, and they ended up looking like each other in their original versions. It's so weird. And I definitely prefer Thanos, because maybe that'll be another video. Fuck everything. I just prefer him more. But it was cool for Darkseid to be in this movie and being established so well. You actually see him stare the Justice League down after they've executed Steppenwolf and the boom tube is closing. Anyway, back to shitting on things. That epilogue just seemed rough. Like, most of the people's acting in it was terrible. I think one of the first things you see is like Amber Heard trying to look angry about Aquaman's death. I don't know what it is. The acting. Her normal acting in Aquaman and in this movie, which they do more to establish Aquaman's thing too. I forgot about that. He actually meets with the Green Goblin and he tries to tell him that he has to go save the world. But, her acting was just awful. She was... I don't know. It's like I was saying, I don't know what it is. It was so bad. Took me right out of the scene when she starts talking about, well, saying anything. She seems fine otherwise, minus potentially being evil. She was just awful here. I think someone's breaking into my house. Jared Leto's Joker seemed a little bit better. He had a decent interaction with Batman, but he really dragged things down when you hear that laugh and him trying to stare out poetically at the city ruins in front of them. Like, it was still a slog listening to him. Like, I was trying to give him a chance. I'm not on some hate bandwagon with him. If he gets better, he gets better. This movie did. Maybe he could. We didn't need him. Get someone else, please. Ormond, you do it. Yeah, well, there was some improvement. It was still, whenever the focus was on him, it was still annoying. I didn't really want to see him. It's like, fucking hell, just get on with it. Stop talking so slowly. Stop that laugh. Just stop. Stop it! And then before that, there's, you know, the scene with Lex Luthor and Deathstroke. Deathstroke was good in it. Jesse Eisenberg. It seemed like a high school drama class. His acting just seemed awful. Like, this whole movie, I tried to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. He fucking sank that boat he was on almost. Like, the movie, if you were to start the movie with that scene, I'd be like, oh, fuck no. No, like, I don't even know if they let him talk more. Like, you go from, like, seeing the Justice League fixed, and then that, and he's on a boat, and he's like, I was given clarity by the people at Arkham. And it's like, good fucking high school play performance there. Like, I don't even care about the casting. Like, he's not Lex Luthor or any kind of stand-in for him. I know people are trying to say, oh, he's Lex Luthor's son. But Alexander Luthor, I think that's who he said his father was also the name of Lex's father, I think, in some continuities. So I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be Lex. They even emboldened him, but he was bad. It was bad. He really... He dropped the movie down. You go from that massively improved project right into his bullshit. You could have just cut that out. We didn't need that. I mean, yeah, it does build the Deathstroke hunting Batman down, but you could just had Deathstroke be like, I'm hunting Batman! And then Lex, just so you could have your Lex scene, he's just off in the distance, like, he's Bruce Wayne! I don't even fucking care that it wouldn't make sense, it would have been better than that shit. And then, like, the bald inmate, that was, oh, this is gonna stop again. The part where there's the bald inmate standing in for Lex, that was way over the top. Like, the fucking laugh, like, they focus on it too long. The laugh is... I know he's an inmate, and I guess he did a good job looking like one, but... It was still over the top. You could have just had him laugh a little bit. You could have just really used what was in... For that part of the epilogue, they could have just used what was in the original. Just... You didn't... Did it change? I think they shortened things. I would just cut the whole fucking thing. Because I hated all of it. I hate both epilogues. Because, like, Martian Manhunter, like, he shows up in the movie and manipulates Lois into going out to help the world. But when he shows up in the epilogue to talk to Bruce Wayne, the whole thing just seems very, like, forced. It's like, I'm going to be a good man now and help the world. And, like, my delivery there wasn't too far off from how he talked. Like, I know he's supposed to be an alien and he has trouble with English probably still, but the acting is just kind of badly acted. It didn't portray that well if that was what they were going for. It was just, his message was corny. Maybe that was on purpose too, but again, I like the actor they were using for him too, but it's just something about this role. He's like, shat himself. Bruce Wayne seemed kind of oddly more... He seemed like he was leaning back to Whedon's version a little bit. He's like, okay, who's this now? And... Good explanation. Just the whole time the encounter was weird, and Bruce seemed like he was kind of becoming oddly lighthearted again. I guess with everything going well and Superman being back, maybe he was happy. Just cut those out. Just fuck them. Fuck the epilogues. We knew Martian Manhunter was around. He needed to have him visit Bruce Wayne and tell us that shit. I mean, we seen him. We're sure we're gonna see him again. Fuck it. Which, also, why did he have to manipulate Lois? Like, he masquerades as Superman's mom to tell Lois to kind of move on and reconnect with the world and don't let the grief kind of keep her out of it because she still has a life, which then leads her to go help Clark remember himself. Which, instead of her being purposely used as a weapon, which I kind of originally liked, Batman was planning to call her in to help. She just kind of stumbles into it, which is also kind of cool. She just shows up, and she's like, Clark! And he's lasering Batman and then stops. Batman had gauntlets that could eat energy. And Wonder Woman was even like, oh, cool, you have gauntlets that can do that. Are you gonna make a black lasso too? Which was kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, so she shows up by accident because Martian Manhunter sort of sent her on her way while pretending to be Martha. Which, that kind of felt like how everything was connected back to Oscorp in Amazing Spider-Man. Like, we didn't necessarily need that. I don't think we needed Martian Manhunter doing that, because I think the implication was that he was trying to help bring Superman back, which is kind of what the whole movie was about. So it's like, you got that, and the mother boxes being afraid of Superman. It's all kind of feeling a little too connected. And some more proof. And I mentioned things dragging on somewhere, like this review. Yeah, it's Snyder's thing. Slow motion, shots lingering, lots of establishment. Pacing is a problem at times. I mean, the scene with Flash saving Iris, that goes on for a minute. Which is funny because he's so fast. I'm sorry. Whenever Flash uses his speed, like, he slows everything down a lot. And it kind of stays that way for a while. When Aquaman is going back into the water, these, like, creepy, weird cult girls start, like, singing. And that goes on too long. He takes off his shirt and leaves it, and one of them grabs it and is like sniffing it and stuff, and then starts singing, and this whole thing feels like it takes 10 minutes. It might have only taken like 3 to 5. It didn't even need that. Like, they could have just started singing and then... Alright, we get it, let's go! Batman even getting to the village Aquaman was in, they do a lot of shots of him like riding a black horse through the mountains, and then the whole meeting with the village kind of takes a bit longer. So, you know, some of the things the recut, the original cut, did were I kind of appreciated some of their edits more. Because this thing dragged on a bit. Jared Leto, Joker talking too much. Like, you know, just give him a few lines. I know you wanted to give him more of a chance after he got practically deleted from Suicide Squad for a reason. Ooh, voice crack! We didn't need him to talk as much. Some things just needed to be snipped. Like, it wasn't terrible, it didn't ruin the movie. But just, I think some things could have been paced a bit better. Established less. And I did mention Steppenwolf still going down kind of easily. But it's minor, but it's still kind of... I wish he'd put up a better fight. Maybe he's not normally a threat to Superman, but hopefully Darkseid will be. But I'm kind of worried about that too, because Darkseid looked like he went down kind of easily in his first confrontation on Earth. I mean, he was fighting gods and Amazons and stuff, but it almost seemed like he went down the way Steppenwolf would. And he's supposed to be a lot stronger. Like, Darkseid is probably one of the strongest comic villains in existence. And I'm kind of worried he's not going to look like it as much. And I'm kind of worried he won't be fleshed out too much. I mean, we barely got to see him, so he felt kind of one-dimensional, but he's not the focus of the movie. We'll probably see more of him. I don't think they wanted to show too much of him, but he didn't really look like too much of a threat in his first invasion of Earth. It kind of looked like they had a pretty easy time smacking him away. I wish he'd done more to, like, devastate things, and I wish he'd been more narrowly defeated somehow, maybe throw in more Green Lanterns, because they only had one. I don't remember if the original cut had a whole fleet of them, but there was only the one Green Lantern, who I'm assuming was Earth's Green Lantern at the time, and he gets killed. But it would have been cool just to see them need more to beat Darkseid back. Because I want Darkseid to fuck things up! And if Superman beats him, if Superman solos this motherfucker in their fight, I'm gonna be upset. I want the whole Justice League to fight him. I know Superman does sometimes solo Darkseid, but I don't fucking want to see that. Now watch Darkseid be the villain of the next Superman movie. I mentioned the tone being different and more consistent. And you know, it's still a little darker than I like. Brighten things up a little bit. I know Marvel's the one that has a lot more levity, whereas DC deals with like DC deals with comic stuff. They do cosmic stuff on a bigger scale, but it still felt really dark. It almost felt like people were ready to like kill each other at any moment. Like everyone's just a sociopath or something. Like the world just felt so dark. Not like Batman v Superman dark. They tried to be more hopeful. And they sang Hallelujah a lot, which I wish they just hadn't. I mean, it was catchy and stuff, their rendition. But like, stop with the religious overtones with Superman, please. Oh yeah, and brighten the world up a little bit. Turn on a fucking light or something. Brighten up the world like my scalp is brightening up because of lack of coverage. And I mentioned it's not really explained why Superman has the black suit. I did mention some theories, but he just kind of has it. Like, I feel like black today. Which was... I like that they used the suit. And then it was kind of weird that a scream is what woke up the mother boxes, because they make it look more like a sound wave, which I think it was meant to be like more of a frequency thing. But it looks like a fucking sound wave in the way it's traveling. And this is more just kind of funny, because if it was a Soundwave, Batman would just be meat paste. Because he was the only human, like, in the immediate vicinity, and he should just be fucking dead. Because I don't remember it really breaking anything. It just would have been awesome. But that shot definitely went a long time. There's, like, kryptonite beam shooting out, and I think lightning and stuff. And you just keep, it's almost comical, you keep hearing the scream of Superman dying as it like cuts to a new place it's spread to when it's going all over the world. It's kind of nuts though. Speed it up! Like all the other scenes that dragged out, it did not need to be as long. But it was cooler because there was like CGI and stuff, and you see places in the world, and Superman dying, and ties it more into Batman v Superman. Just go a little bit faster, alright? Maybe spend less than 5 minutes on each shot in that scene. Maybe I'll save this one for last, because it's kind of a big one. Well, no, because it was the second from last thing, and I already mentioned Martian Manhunter making things feel like Amazing Spider-Man. Which is funny, because the original cut of this movie left me with the same feeling as Amazing Spider-Man. When I saw that, I was like, did I just see a movie? It felt like nothing happened. And that's what Justice League originally felt like. So anyway, this is kind of a big thing, is Darkseid's design. He looks like he has leprosy. His shoulders are very narrow. He looks kind of gross and weird. Like, I guess he's supposed to... They probably wanted him to look more alien and look less like Thanos. Because they made Thanos look more dignified and regal and human. Which ended up somehow making him seem more like Darkseid. So they had to do something to kind of change Darkseid up for the movies, since they dragged their feet even getting to a Justice League. Actually, that's another criticism for later, if I remember it. But Darkseid, his chest, like, seems kind of concave. It's got the Omega symbol scarred into it. Like, honestly, really to fix him up, all they had to do is, I think, just make his shoulders more broad, just to give him more of a kind of monstrous feel. More of like an overlord kind of thing. Because even Thanos seemed more like a kind of a narrow meat column than a big hulking beast. So they could have still widened Darkseid out, and he would have looked more like Darkseid and not like Thanos. Because his head just seems really big for his body right now. There's still time! Thanos did it! He had that gross ball chin that they made kind of into a big, gross ball chin, but less ball sack looking. And just make Darkseid. Just make him embiggen him. You can still leave him looking like he's got leprosy and Ebola. Just widen his shoulders and puff out his chest. Don't make him get beat up. Fuck was I gonna say next? Shit. Oh, I mean, so this movie, like, part of the reason it was so long is because it had to establish the Justice League, because unlike with Marvel, they didn't really have much going on with their other heroes. Like, there was Superman, at the time of this movie, originally, there was Superman. Yeah, that's kind of it. I guess Batman gets established in Batman v Superman, not his own movie, because he's already had a bunch of reboots. And then that movie, Batman v Superman, tries to like kind of shoehorn the other Justice League members in by mentioning them and then throwing in Wonder Woman. Right, so she was in that. And then you got some movies establishing them. Or maybe Wonder Woman came out before? I don't think it did. Either way, there's only like 3 heroes out of the 6, so they kind of had to throw the others in and give them a lot of establishment. Which it worked. Like, the movie wasn't really bogged down too much by it. It's more of a criticism overall of the DCEU. They kind of had to cram a lot of establishment of the Justice League into the movie itself, instead of just that being the movie where they get brought together. And Batman v Superman had to do a lot of the legwork too, when it was supposed to be a movie about Batman fighting Superman. Just because you throw Dawn of Justice into the title doesn't mean you can make your movie do that, Charmy! I think that's all my criticisms. I think I'm gonna try and leave this all as one video. Fuck it. I can do 4-hour video too. If I split this into 2, it's gonna look really negative, because the second half will just be me shitting on the movie, but occasionally saying good things, and it'll be disjointed. But I don't like editing this. It's a lot of work. It's kind of thankless. I'm not reviewing my YouTube career, I'm reviewing Justice League. Dawn of Snyder. So I just did. It's a good movie. It's kind of jarring that it's in 4:3 standard. I remember things. And I guess one of the excuses is like Zack, his name and Joss Whedon's name is just fused in my head. Zack Snyder was saying that like standard definition or screen makes the heroes look larger than life, whereas widescreen kind of makes them look smaller and they don't seem to be standing tall as much. But I disagree overall because I think the wider view lets you cram more shit and make things look like they're on a bigger scale, more comic-like, even though comics are in small panels. Shut up! I just think it looks more fantastical with the wider screen. I think, honestly, it was probably a budget-saving thing. I mean, they already put so much into hiring all these actors to come back and, like, do some stuff here and there and get Martian Manhunter's actor. I'm assuming he might have always been in it. Maybe they cut him. I don't know. But they had to do more CGI with Darkseid. There's all kinds of stuff they had to do that cost more. Why wouldn't they just spend the money? I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird that it's in standard, like, type. Odd way to save money. And it wasn't coming out in theaters, so they weren't about to make any box office money off of it. And it didn't cost extra on their streaming service, which was nice. Fuck you, Disney Plus. I'm not paying $30 to see your dragon movie. You can eat shit. I like not Dawn of Justice. Dawn of New Old Cut movie. I'd say it stands up pretty well with the Avengers movies. I don't know if it's like better than Endgame and Infinity War. It's definitely up there. So, go watch it, you binguses. Not you, Wormmon. You're too young. They dropped the F-bomb a bunch of times and there's slight gore. You wait till you grow up into Stingmon and then you can see it. It's getting warm. It's a lot warmer since the last time I did one of these. I can't see my monitor. I'm fucking dumb. I think the world went a whole quarter, business quarter, without one of these. Oh no.